Alright, I'm actually kind of pissed off right now. I'm kind of pissed. I just was nearing the end of doing my TNA review because this is now the second time I'm doing it. And legitimately, as I'm talking, the card malfunctioned and all my data's gone. Fuck! Now I gotta do this all over again. I'm gonna shorten it this time. Guys, I'm gonna say this. The show was good. There were some problems. Audio was an issue. There was some glitching with the audio. And there was some strange camera work being done that was more like this during the show. But other than that, it was alright. Now, I'm going to go through the matches quickly because I want to talk about the backstage segments and what happened. Santana versus Moore. It was a squash match. Now, when you could, and that's if you could hear Santana because the mic was clipping a lot, he made it very clear he wants to come after Joe Henry. And what I was saying in the original video is that now Santana is possibly being moved from here to here. Not here, but here. And with Mustafa Ali, and what happened with Ali, that it was Skylar who was speaking for him because Tasha Steelz, after taking a very nicely looking razor's edge powerbomb onto the table during Rebellion, he made it very clear he doesn't want to talk because he feels like he has to do something new. Roughly speaking, he's saying. And it looks like they may try to tear everything down for Mustafa Ali to get back up. I do not believe Ali and Santana is over. It should be, but it's not going to be. But Santana went from here to here, and he's going to need someone to deal with, and that's going to be Ali, I believe. Next, rematch. Well, technically, it's never been a rematch, but it's considered a rematch for Wentz. Wentz never got his rematch clause, and yes, I did say in my previous video about what happened with Leon Slater, and when they showed the replay of him putting both feet on the ground, yes, but at the same time as he did it, barely half a second, Moose spears him and lets go of the belt. They're making it so that Leon would have another legitimate gripe that eventually would lead him to a match, I think maybe by Slammiversary. Never know. I'm hoping they don't rush it. They continue building Leon because the match that he had with Casey Navarro was a good match. It was not the best match of the night for me. It was the third best match. For me personally, it was. But I will say that it was good to see they had a great match, and they're both great wrestlers when it comes to Casey and Leon. And the person who seemed the most charismatic between the two, because I'm seeing what they're going to do. Because Leon, they are building up. But I'm hoping to also do that with KC. Yes, KC could be an X Division champion. Easily could be a tag champion. Hell, he can be an international champion. This is Leon when it comes to charisma and being charismatic. This is KC. KC is older, of course. Leon is still young, so I'm not surprised. Now, the match between Jody Threat and Maggie Lee. I said it in my previous video that didn't save, that made me angry, because I did a long explanation of what I thought about Maggie Lee and what happened during that match, because Maggie looked like she was holding back a little too much. Yes, they wanted to make her lose, but they could have given her more offense. And this is not because of Jody Threat. This is not her fault. I truly believe Maggie wanted to really sell as much as possible to make the story look good, that when she joins the Ash of Elegance brand, she would look defeated. And to be honest, I think she might have gone a little too far with it, because I think she needed a little bit more offense than what was given. I'm not blaming Jody. She was not the one that was causing any problems. She was doing what normally Jody does. She's a decently good wrestler. But I just felt like Maggie Lee was holding back too much. And we did see the segment afterward that they were chewing her out. And they said, you know what? You know what happens when you lose a match? We do a makeover. And now she's going to get Botox. There you go. Now, the 6-man tag, it was alright. But I gotta say this, I did not see the ending because I had to go to the bathroom. When I left, they were still wrestling. When I came back, Trick Williams was there, and he does a trick shot on, well, this is what I think might have happened. Probably it was Jeff who was attacked, maybe, or Joe Henry. I don't think they would attack Matt. I don't think that Trick Williams would attack Matt. I think it would be maybe Jeff or Joe Henry. And that was the distraction that the Nemesis and Kaz needed to have to win. And then after that, you did the trick shot. And you got, Trick is not holding the title up high. He's just making it clear that I am going to be doing something in TNA. Like I said it before, when you look at the main roster of NXT, they will only send people when they're either not in any storylines or they're the most lowest hanging fruit. In other words, the lowest tier of wrestlers they have, they don't have to worry about any storylines because they're not in any stories right now. That's the reason, and that's what we got. Trick Williams is not doing anything right now. Now, I'm sure people will say, well, what about Wafemi? He's the champion. Yeah, but he had no challengers. He already went through Devon Evans and Trick Williams. Who is he going to be dealing with next? No one. There's no one for him to deal with next. That's the reason why Joe Henry was used. That's the reason why soon you're going to see Joe Henry come back to him and is going to say, I want a match with you, either on one of the other shows that Impact Wrestling, well, not Impact, TNA is going to be doing, like Under Siege, or any other one before Slammiversary, or they'll be doing something like Battleground, where you're going to be seeing an NXT champion go up against a TNA champion, maybe. You never know. That might be it. But that's what they got. They don't have any stories for Umba right now. So it's okay. There's no problem with it, just like Trick. He's got no story right now. That's the reason why they're letting Joe deal with him. And they closed the show they closed the show properly. And I was fine with it. But let's make this clear. What we got before the show started, well, not started, but ended, was interesting. I'm only going to say this when it comes to Steph DeLanda, Warner, and Sammy. There's something missing. They need something. I don't know what it is. Now, it could be due to the fact that, yes, Steph wanted them to stop fighting. Steph said, no, we were not able to go to Rebellion because we're all banged up. It needed to be ended. And she wanted a man to shake the hand of Sammy to squash it. And they were right. Both Warner and Sammy set a new standard for brutality in TNA. Not in like GCW or MLW or TKO, WWE or AEW, anywhere else. Just TNA. They set a new standard. And it was a good standard. And they shook hands. And now they're supposed to go to separate ways. But I feel like they will not end that quickly. And if they do, I think that's a mistake. Because I don't expect them to feud again. But I do expect them to come together as a team eventually. I think their best wants to be a team. Now, let's talk about Macklin. He didn't get a chance to talk or say anything. He wanted to. He got his butt kicked. And I want to say this, around this time, legitimately, my camera decided, oh, there is an error. It's unexpected that the camera shut down. And I'm like, what the fuck? This is where the camera died. And I hope it's nothing bad. Let me give it to you like this. One of the things I wish the Northern Armory had done was to come out with a more thicker chain. During Rebellion, yes, it was fine, that chain. But seeing the same chain, I think should have been a thicker one. Now, it's not like I want to see them choke Macklin out. But I felt like they needed to up the ante when it comes to the violence. And yes, afterward, after Macklin was choked with the chain again, Santino confronts them, and says, what are you doing? And then Macklin's saying, I want your head, pretty much. And now they're going to have a match next week. What about Under Siege? I don't want to see Macklin having a match next week when you could do it at Under Siege, which I believe is near the end of the month. I think, 25th or 27th of the month? I can't remember. I think it's the 27th. And I'm like, what the blue fuck? Unless there's some type of DQ where he could not get the title, I feel like they're rushing this. I'm hoping I'm wrong and there will not be an actual match and they will set it up for Under Siege. That's what I feel. Now, here's the final thing I'm going to talk about, which I know people are going crazy about. Cody Deaner, he comes out, and the fans at the arena was stupid. Cody's contract supposedly ends at 12 o'clock. Legitimate. Well, in the story, legitimate. And he's saying at the end of, at 12 o'clock, my contract goes. And they're going, what? What? And I'm like, what the fuck, motherfuckers? What are you doing? Why are you trying to act like you want to hijack the damn show? It's stupid. And Cody had to rush through his lines. He had to rush his promo. And that sucks. And then when they started talking, he's got kids, he says, it's not my gimmick, but I am with kids. But this is it. Unless something happens, I'm done. Because I couldn't win a match. For the entire year, I didn't win one match. That's the reason why I'm not getting a new contract. Santino comes out. He says, look, I spoke to the bosses. Now, I cannot give you a new contract, but I can give you an extension to Under Siege. If you beat someone I line up against, which will be Eddie Edwards, if you win, I can go back to them and make a direct request for a new contract. Brand new one, not an extension, a brand new one. But then who did we get coming out? We get the former Alicia Fox, who is Victoria Crawford, and Mr. Stone come out. He says, Santino, you've been doing a terrible job, and now I'm here to keep an eye on you. I'm going to be watching you all the time. If you screw up, you're done. I'm going to make sure that TNA is going to be better than it ever was. And pretty much, Victoria Crawford's get a match. The former Alicia Fox, who probably hasn't wrestled in like 5 years, because she stopped wrestling. When she left the company, as far as I know, she stopped wrestling. She had to go to rehab. She tried to clean herself up. You can see her with tats on her body. She's still a good-looking woman. But she hasn't wrestled maybe 3 to 5 years, easily. I haven't heard anything about her wrestling. So it's been maybe up to 5 years since she's been away from the company, easily. And she has not wrestled. And now she's going to get a wrestling match against Marsha Slamovich Under Siege. And Marsha did her promo, of course, talking about she didn't call her a legend. But she made it very clear when it came to Victoria that she's going to teach you what she's all about. That roughness. But then we go in the back. We see that Tessa Blanchard gets up in the face of Santino, making it very clear, this is not right. I have been screwed. You need to understand that there is everybody else and then there's me. And then we see that not only Miss Crawford walks away with Mr. Stone, but also Miss Tessa Blanchard. Guys, let's make this very clear. I'm sure people are going to say, oh, this means TNA is going to get bought. No. I want to make this very clear to you. I do not expect TNA getting bought out. Because Anthem would have to be the one who will make the arrangement. It will not be the president of TNA who will make the arrangement to be bought out. It will be the CEO of Anthem. And remember, if you see my Gunt report, Ari Emanuel is the current CEO of Endeavor and TKO Group Holdings. He doesn't own them because they're owned by Silver Lake, but he would have to make the decision next to the CEO of Anthem if they were going to buy TNA. And to be honest, TNA may not be making a huge amount of money, but it is making about a good amount of press, which has probably given a little bit more interest in Access TV. Because there's no way that people will not try and tune into TNA now that it's been shown on NXT. There's no way. They have to have more traffic on their Access TV app and Access TV channel. And network. Not channel, but network. They have to. So there's no way that I can see the CEO of Anthem just selling out and just handing over TNA to TKO WWE. I just don't think they'll do it right now or ever. But we're now getting a storyline where like I said, the people who are not in major storylines, like Uma Femi's not in a major storyline right now. He'll eventually deal with Joe Henry. You're going to see Trick Williams. He's not in the storyline right now. He's dealing with Joe Henry. Now you see Mr. Stone, who literally has not been doing anything. He's not doing any work on Speed. He's not doing any work on Evolve. So I'm like, okay. They're letting the wrestlers who are not really doing anything right now do a storyline with TNA. Am I against it? No. It's actually going to be very interesting to see what is going on with TNA, having now a major presence as someone who's going to be challenging Santino Marella, who has been there for a while, who is going to be the boss. What decisions either side are going to make. I'm not going to tell you that it's boring, because it's not. It's not. But the question is going to be how far they're going to go with this. Let's make this very clear. I said this quite a while ago. We didn't know what was going to go on with this collaboration. I still believed, and I am right, it's been proven. Everyone that has gone through TNA has proven my point. TNA is not heavily valued. If you say, what about Joe Henry going to WrestleMania? Well, remember, when it came to KO. KO has had neck surgery. There was no way they were going to have Randy Orton go up against Joe Henry unless they had no choice but to do it. Because KO is injured. He has to have neck surgery. That's the reason why he did it. Was it great to see him? Of course it was. Did it help TNA? Of course it did. But does it mean you're going to be seeing TNA all the time on the main roster? If they keep having the same problem with the people they brought in that are network executives, not wrestling promoters or wrestling employees, they're going to be thinking in a network standard instead of a wrestling standard. So I don't know. I don't believe so, but it doesn't mean it will not eventually happen. But it's also going to be down to the network executives who are working in TNA now. TNA has fired one of them, and I believe there are at least 2 more left, next to an actual producer that is from ROH. I'm still saying this was a good episode. Seeing Mr. Stone there with Miss Crawford, the Victoria, was cool. Seeing they are pushing Santana, and hopefully they will do something with him, but I do believe Ali and him are not done yet. This is going to be interesting. I don't know how far it's going to go, but it will be interesting to see. And I hope you enjoy this Impact review. Give me a comment below. Peace.